Let's get started some warming up. Played 3 games for warm up. First one will just be we're standing and the attacker will start a 2-on-1. So I like to do this Russian 2-on-1. Basically like both kind of like underhooks. My shoulder drives at the right shoulder here, and then I pin his wrist to my chest. This is where it will start. My goal as attacker is going to be to get locked hands, so I want to use this grip to maybe get single leg, maybe get to rear body lock, or if you want, you can get to front headlock as well. Frank's goal as a defender is going to be to prevent these things and pull out. If he disconnects, flip flop, and it's Frank's turn to attack and then my turn. One, two,
Yeah. How about you first?
Other way, we can go under too. Yeah, there. And then I hit this guy.
Should we just switch?
Yeah, switch whenever you're ready for that. angle and I'm past my partner's ankle, and we're right here. My goal as a passer is going to be to maintain this angle, and I want to get control of his shoulder. So things to think about is because I've already gotten this angle, I'm looking to maintain it. Whether that is keeping my head and my elbow here to keep his hip line flat, looking to maybe drop my knee so I can put a wedge behind his knee, keeping this angle right here. Frank's obviously going to be framing on me, so you want to like figure out the right time to basically beat his frames, and then start looking for some form of upper body control. And then once you're able to pin the shoulder line, then you can start looking to get past the legs. The win condition for up top is going to be to find pin the shoulder line to the mat, and also find your way past the hips and legs. Person on bottom, if you achieve any form of guard, or you're able to disconnect and get back to open guard, we'll consider that a win condition, and then that's a flip flop. So we're starting here. Let's say like I'm just being lazy and Frank just like puts me in today with Evo, or puts me in half, or puts me in knee shield, flip flop. So making sure that you can maintain this angle and have pressure is going to be very important. Any questions? Alright, you partners, I'll do it too.
What's the
Get out of this.
get to the door.
I'm scared. I'm scared. I've been studying this position.
Not part of the game.
Your shoulders are up. Start right. It's so important because we
Yeah.
Hi, my DVD. You can double stack.
So this is that's the is that side control or yeah, pin the shoulder line and
Okay.
It could be just a regular side control pin where I have chest to chest, I have a cross face and underhook. Make sure if you have a cross face that you use it. So I like to grab kind of like the far armpit and really use my shoulder to turn their head so they're not just side facing up. You can also pick judo side. You can also pick reverse judo side, whatever you prefer as a starting position. Goal for a top person is to just maintain the pin. So Frank's going to be looking to get out. I'm going to be maintaining side control pin. I want to pin his shoulder line and his hip line to the mat as best I can. I feel free to transition to any dominant position. So I can switch between all forms of side control. I can do knee on belly. I can switch to mount, and then also to the other side as well. If the bottom person gets their guard back, disconnects, or reverses the position, flip flop, and attacker goes to defender. And then you partner if you so desire.
You can just try to maintain.
Oh, yeah, this is like,
Yeah, you can go north south.
yeah, that's like, and then, but they're all like roughly an hour. Yes.
North south. Gotcha. So like we start here, right? So I'm at the top, and you start moving around a little bit, and I'm just trying to like move from the head to the side. Yeah. This side, here's control. Just kind of like move between positions, kind of move around, not like we get And when you can, if you look at the north side, it's actually a lot easier to pin someone. At least I So you move into the second control on the north side, because start second control. So we get back to the back. So second control, and start moving towards the north side. So you can get one side, like this side, and down here. Yeah, exactly. Then like, tripod up. So that, yeah, so you put in so much weight. This is that, no, is actually much easier.
Alright, we're going to move into things that we were working last week. We're going to play a series of more games, but first review, like when I'm looking to retain back control, I have my choking arm and then my control arm underhook. And then I usually like to cover my choking arm with my control arm, but that's not a hard and fast rule. On the side that I have my underhook, I have really good head position, because if I don't, and we're on the underhook side, Frank can put his head on the mat, and now it becomes a back tension situation. So just making sure that you have good clasped hands, and also, like I kind of like shrug my shoulders, and then pinch his back to my chest like this. So just like some maintenance tips. Especially when we're trying to maintain the back, I'm thinking about a concept called diagonal control, where if I only have one side control, so if I have this hook and this underhook, and I don't have very good control on this other side, if I can turn, then I'm going to have to follow him in order to retain that. However, if I have an underhook up here and a bottom hook here, you can think of it kind of like as a door. Like the previous example, he's swinging on these hinges here, whereas here, it's hard for him to rotate. Same thing if I do the other side, tough to rotate. So these are things to think about when you're preventing someone from trying to get out. So, good positioning, thinking about diagonal control. For this next game, we'll start in this chair sit position. So this is the position that we'll start. So we have the underhook on top, the overhook on the bottom. Foot sort of like near the belly button, and then it's hard for you to see, but my knee and my foot is basically like molded to the back right here. And we'll start right here. Obviously, like the first thing I would need to do is just to do a chair sit. So I'm sitting towards the butt cheek that my leg is up. So I'm not pulling my partner on me. I'm just sitting to the left, turning this leg behind his back into the top. And then once we get to this position, we're looking to maintain the back, and Frank's looking to get home. If Frank turns to face me or gets both his shoulder line and his hip line to the mat, then we'll flip flop. And then attacker goes to defense and vice versa. Once the timer goes and you guys, or not the timer, but once you guys like slap hands and both this and go, Frank can also choose to escape during the chair sit. So like if I start bringing him through and then he's able to do something like that, flip flop. So making sure that you have good mechanics during the chair sit is also important. Any questions? And you're just trying to chest. Yeah. Oh, you're over? defender. So we'll start sitting up here, and attacker will start with a one-armed choke like this, and the defender can start with a hand on the wrist or the forearm, and then we'll start in this position right here. Just for some review, whenever the defender is looking to stop chokes from happening, I always recommend looking for the thumb. So even if Frank grabs, Frank grabs the thumb, it's pretty much over for me. It's really hard to finish. However, if he's grabbing the wrist or even the forearm, I can always still walk my hand up, tighten it up. When I'm looking for the choke, I'm generally looking for a rotational finish. So even if it's one-handed or rear naked, I'm looking to get really deep. I hide my hand using my chin, and then when I finish, I'm basically pulling my elbow without having my hand move. If I have it move and just slip like this, it's not going to generate any meaningful squeezing pressure. So I'm pulling my elbow back. So that's a one-arm choke. When I'm looking for a rear naked, I basically am looking to shoot my secondary hand in this space between my head and front. I don't want to make this big looping motion where I grab my bicep, because then you can grab this hand and then I have to figure out how to get my hand back, and that's also deflecting my primary chin. So whenever I get to this position where I have my chin over my choking hand, I kind of just open the space up, shoot, and then find my hand on the bicep, and then basically replace my head. How you position this hand behind the head is up to you. I think some people like to ball it up into just a fist, because it's harder to grab. I think there's some merit to that. You guys can play around with it. And then with the rear naked here, when I shoot, I think about elbows together first, and then both moving off rotation. It's really important to control the rotation of your partner. I've had instances where I get full rear naked chokes in, but I have no control of my partners using hooks, and they can start rotating. Yeah, now the angle starts going back. So making sure that when you do shoot your chokes, that you're always controlling your partner's rotation, otherwise they're going to start. Depending on your level, feel free to choose how deep your partner goes for an attack. Because Frank he's a brown belt. He may choose to just go you can get as deep, get as deep as you want. Yeah. And then we'll start here. And then now he has to really look to figure out ways to defend. If you're less experienced, you can ask for hand on the shoulder, and then maybe not completely under the chin, so you have a little bit more leeway to defend. Communicate with your partner. Calculate. And then defender obviously is looking to strip the grips and get out of that position. Turn face or get your hips and your shoulder line.
Yeah.
Feels like if he dies, he dies. Yeah. See how it goes.
Let's talk a little bit about some grip stuff, and then we can also do a review on escapes and also, yeah. So first grip stuff. So we got the seatbelt grip, and Frank will grab his primary and secondary hands. Just some things that like work for me is swinging my underhook grip to go for that 5-hook grip, which is I'll grab like where the grip is weak, like a pinky right here, and then basically strip it. But I don't want to just hold this grip in space because where my hand isn't is where the grip is weak. So Frank can just, yeah, he just basically pulls me down. So when I do this, I want to pin it to his chest. So there's like kind of like a wedge on both sides, and it's just tough for him to do that. And now he's left with one hand, which is usually going to like keep defending his choking line. And so like I can do a series of whatever pummels to free that hand if I want, or if he's just grabbing it, I find that one of the best grip breaks is just to start choking. So like I removed this primary defending hand here, and now I can just move it up towards that one arm choke position. Because he has my thumb line, maybe I won't move it directly all the way up. Maybe I'll just like go to his tricep. And then I can start thinking about stripping that and just start moving it upwards from my rear fingers. But that, this pinning grip is really nice. So thinking about that. Another grip break that I like to do is something to get immediately to the cross grips. So I basically bring both my hands up, and then I swing my underhook hand again all the way to the other side to grab this wrist. If I can, I'll exchange it for kind of like a hand grip. This is much better than a wrist grip. Wrist grips, like you can swing their hand, like pummel, yeah, and like get out. Whereas if I do a wrist, kind of like pinching the space between the pinky and their thumb here. If I get this, they can't. It's harder to swing. And you can also pin this to the chest. But I get this grip and I get this, and then we're immediately in this cross grip territory. And if I fall, I can either keep this or I can start trapping grips with my feet, doing a handoff. And now he has no hands to defend himself, and now I can look for my chokes. During your guys' sparring, I also saw people who lifted their arm in order to protect the choke. So like this is really annoying like you have this entire arm. You can choose to do like the thunder lock, which is like I basically pull his arm and then pull his arm behind his head and then basically turn this into a shoulder lock where I like wrench the arm behind. So that's an option. But I learned this new one where if they decide to bring their arm up, what you can do is because the grip is right here, I can grab his hand and then I can swing my elbow. So I basically grab his hand, I swing my elbow, and basically just go straight to that choke. So it's like they're giving you their hand so I can control it, swing my elbow in front, and then look for that rear naked again. Those are some grip fights that I like to use. Cross grips, final grip. Sometimes if they're holding really tight, you can always do the one where this underhook grip again swims to this other side, and I grab my own hand. And I'm basically like curling my wrists to break their grip, and then immediately go into some form of pinning to the chest, looking for my own grips. Any questions? Need to see that again? No? Okay. Let us start in let's just start in regular back control right here. We'll start right here, and then goals will be for the attacker. If I can render both arms basically like unusable, if I pin both to the chest, if I maybe trap one with the foot, or if I get a rear naked choke, we'll call that a win. And then defenders with the beauty out. So we're playing more with the grips this time than with the usual. If you're able to immobilize both grips, get a rear naked choke, that flip flop, and then defenders.
That's cricket. That's cricket.
No.
Oh. That's when you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. Yeah, yeah. 7.
ways to break this. The way I was taught was just, I won't say to never use your hands, just because if you're able to protect yourself up top, you can still have one hand free to assist. So, but generally I like to just avoid using my hands and use my feet as hands in order to get rid of the body triangle. First way is just to turn it into hooks. So I can swim, if you're flexible, you can swim your top leg all the way to the heel and just start pushing it down. Turn it into hooks. The minute it turns into hooks, I offset so that he no longer has a good, we're no longer in alignment down at the hips. And then when I turn like this, it makes it easier for me to start slipping out of the lower hook. If you're less flexible, you can use your top leg to sort of trap the hook, the secondary triangle leg, hand it off and trap it, and then do the same thing and turn it into hooks. The minute it's hooks, I switch my hips and misalign. There's also this new one that I've been seeing, which is I put my hand kind of like right inside of this block right here, and I reinforce it with my leg, like this, and then I just open my leg. And then from here, I can also move to escape. Just because your hand is not going to be strong enough to break the lock, but then it's mostly the action of opening up your, now it's leg on leg. So it's stronger in order to break the lock. Yeah, you just want to be careful that they don't come over the top, trap your arm, or go for triangles. This is pretty bad. Let's say it's really hard. He's like hiding this foot, and it's like there's just no way he's doing this or something. There's no way I'm getting around it. What I can do is now go to the other side. So I want to use this bottom leg to go to the other side and turn the triangle lock to the back. From here I can do something similar, which is I swim behind and bring that lock up with my legs. So it's less of a triangle now and more kind of like string hooks. And then from here, I'm protecting myself and I can start to rotate again and move out of the back. Anyone need to see those again? One of the best ways also that I like to escape is once they turn it into hooks, I never like to hang out here in the middle, because here it's uncomfortable for Frank because he's carrying the weight, but I find that it doesn't help me to get out. And so like I want to go to one side or the other, and when I do, I make sure that I use that moment of going to that one side or the other to misalign. So when I go to, like, let's say I just go to my right, I'm not just like falling down and staying in alignment, right? I'm sort of falling down laterally, where I move to my right, but then I feel like my hips are still pointed up. Like I'll do this. So it's kind of like the same thing if I had fallen this way and then I turn my hips. So I'm sort of combining both actions into one. So it's just like, I don't want to fall and be aligned, I want to fall and just keep misaligned. Because now I'm sort of sitting on the thigh. And now he has to figure out a way to realign his hips, and then by then, I'm looking to improve my position. So that's a little tip for those who, if you're staying in the middle, you can use that as an option to follow one side or the other, but make sure you misalign. So next game we'll start in the body triangle. So on top it's underhook or overhook, whatever you prefer. And then we'll fall with the body triangle on the top side. For the defender, if I can turn it into hooks, or if I could turn to face my opponent, then flip-flop. And then attackers looking to maintain body triangle and also throw attacks. Any questions?
Dirty guys doing dirty stuff to each other.
We'll do this game one more time with new partners. I forgot to talk about one more escape that I like to do. If they're really, really tight and I just like can't access the legs, I can't even get to the other side. One thing you can do also is like body triangles, like the lock is really strong on the lock side. So this side here with the knee, I can choose to use it to rotate. So I can take this bottom leg and just start like trying to turn into frame right here. And what I like to do is like once I start rotating, I'll kind of like put a wedge under his knee so it's hard for him to get up. Because in order for him to get up, he needs to suck this knee up. And now it's a battle of like if I can get this elbow around and come up into close guard, avoiding the triangle, and making sure to come up with it. So that's I've been using this for a while now. I think it's pretty fun. Just because it's, even if they have a really good body triangle, yeah, like it's pretty hard to keep me from moving this hip on the body. So just like playing around with it, and like trying to turn into my partner, and make make it hard for them to maintain chest and back alignment. And then you guys can look to turn the face and sway as well. So you can combine that with all the other escapes. So that's another option. We'll do this game one more time, new partner. See your body chemicals are making sure you get out of it. Alright, on to it.
You want me to go first or you want to go?
I'll
Yeah. You just gotta get the chicken back.
Do you have to disconnect the upper body before you do that thing? The one you sit on the ground and try to swing?
No, I just
Start doing it.
and then I figure out what
If I had an upper body, yeah, I guess.
If you move your back, right?
Oh, you're budding out. He was budding out. Like, I wasn't doing that. I was having me training.
Frank can never see it.
These are the secrets you guys have to know.
Alright, we'll have a little bit of time for questions. So anything related to back or anything that's related, like anything you guys are having trouble with today, feel free to ask. We'll see if we can troubleshoot it.
Just that last thing.
So Frank had a question, like when I'm doing this like escape, what is it like? Do I have to get out of upper body control first? And I said no. I just start doing it. So like, just like I start turning towards doing that, it just starts misalignment. It just gets harder and harder to hold, kind of like I think of it as like a knife that's turning.
What adjustment are you trying to make if the rotation comes a little too hard to keep rotating?
Adjustment.
mentioned butt out. Is that what you did? Like,
Yeah.
I've had a tough time rotating all the way. Screw your butt down.
It is a little.
Oh, there you go. Okay. I think that's, yeah,
What are you doing to not feel like I know the head triangle or arm triangle?
Arm triangle. What's it? What do you want position?
But just deal with this.
Because I was doing this.
I think yeah. Okay.
yeah. I was messing around. There's no way.
I'll probably like make sure I have like. So like, it's probably like the way I would defend against arm triangles is like bring my elbows out so the shoulder comes into the equation. So unless you have like total longness of arms like this, even if you have like both hands locked, I'm not gonna get you here. Shoulders way too much. But if I'm like here, I might just get choked. Like when I'm grabbing like this, my elbow is up, which I think is a little bit of a risk. Like people can walk around this. So what I can do is bring my elbow down while I do it. Because like that's one of the differences for anacondas and horses. It's just like I bring my arm down so the shoulder comes into the equation. Offers me time to breathe. You want to try? See if I can still push.
I think I'm
Like am I bullshitting?
Yeah. I was more like messing around.
Yeah. Because I feel more. I'm just thinking too much about down here, so I was just kind of like, I think maybe.
So get like a deeper grip crack and
I was probably
Oh,
like,
this
I was going,
oh, it says that. I don't know. That's why it's a little bit.
wait, try it. You know,
In terms of.
yeah, you can bring.
Oh, I know this here. So I was trying to escape this elbow and then like just like choked back.
I see.
So it's like the underhook side of the body triangle.
See what I mean?
same thing for later.
So the arm has to go up. Choke it. Yeah, so it's just like a little bit. It's up here.
I'll just keep this.
Yeah, I think the pinch right now.
You just don't worry about that. It's kind of carrying.
Yeah, it does suck.
Yeah, it's amazing how much you can protect your stuff.
Like this might be an issue, like because my elbow is across the center line. But I feel like it's just if I'm fighting for it, I get eventually.
Yeah, I think that pinch. There's so much weight on it.
Something I just noticed too is like when I do this, the minute I can switch and go like this, I will. Then it's like I'm pretty much trying to face.
Right. And your elbow enlarges your.
Yeah, or just like.
It's just like a move that you need to get older. Like I mean, that's big almost fancy shit like that.
It's a karate.
Any other questions?
When we're fighting, I notice I keep getting my arm frayed. How should I be mindful of when we're fighting?
Just like
Just like cross grip.
yeah, you could just like limp arm this arm out. That's what I do.
Yeah, like, well, I guess before that, like, when someone gets cross grips on me, I know that this is coming. So usually I'll flare my elbow up
Yeah.
to make it hard for them to do that. Let's say he does get it, what do I do? I usually am protecting with the one remaining arm I have left, but then yeah, for instance, the limp arm, I do that. I just like bring it close to me and I just do anything I can to get it out. Sometimes you can't get it out, that's like a real possibility. And usually that happens when, I want to say they trap it like in the front ear. Yeah, and they have this. This usually is much more difficult to get out. And what happens, I have gotten out of this before and it's usually like late escapes where like they're choking me and I'm just like doing everything I can to change the angle so I can get this on back so I can start grabbing again. So maybe like I'm sort of shifting my body up again. But usually the one where they trap like the foot behind my back here, this
this, I feel like it's actually not super difficult to get out of. I can limp arm out and hold it really tight and see. Yeah, like I can just kind of get it out. But the one where they trap it in front, right here, yeah, this is definitely harder. Yeah. Maybe you can use get your feet involved.
Is there something I should be mindful of when we're fighting? Like, I need to keep my elbow up.
Yeah, I think keeping your elbow up is good, especially if you know your partner wants to go for that. So like yeah, like this. You could also like just keep doing that. Yeah. I think for me, I just have this awareness of like that foot might come and trap it, so I kind of keep it up a little bit, and then I'll just make sure to start escaping. Yeah.
Thank you.
Alright, that's class. Train hard to speak. We have open that now for how we go home and stay. Usually we go till 7:30 or whenever.
I'm managing this week. No, it's good.
Oh, that's nice.
One fish that I caught was on the lure that I
Oh,
By the way, that's just doing it. Yeah. Wow.
Video sick. Find it.